Well, happy fun launch day, everybody. I don't even know what to start with. Hey, if you're brand new around here, my name is Scot Mendenhall. We are big fans of Onewheels. We have the vintage XR. We can't say classic because now we have an XR classic that's dropping every brand new board alert. It's launch day. Onewheel fans everywhere. We're stoked to have you here and to be with us today. We are not all by ourselves. I keep saying we. This is Scot Mendenhall and Friends podcast. We also do reviews on a lot of things. I have some seasoned vets, some riders that have rode their brains out. They've rode this XR and many other boards. My two oldest boys. We're starting with Legend to my right. They felt they needed to have some glasses on today. I don't know why.
What's up, everybody?
All right, there you go. This guy.
Glad to be here.
This guy. Okay. And then we got Epic over here to my left.
What's up? How we doing, y'all?
Why are we flashing the peace symbol? Like, is that your vibe?
This is my vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. It's his vibe. We got a picture right away. We're going to put it up on the screen. The classic. The OG is back. There it is, sitting right there, okay? That's the beautiful, in the color and everything. It is, yeah. I'm gonna be right, before we get into all of the nitty-gritties of the revamped classic is all the boxes for me on this board just got checked today. I've been saying for a long time, since they brought out the GT, because you got the GT and the pints, and they are polished boards. They look great. The corners, everything was just like, yes, please. This is awesome, okay? Then you get to this XR, and as I ride this, I still ride it here and there because it's just something I love the way I feel on it. The flat foot pad, the wooden foot pads are on these. There's something about this ride that I just absolutely enjoy. But often, did you make that is a statement that has been said to me. I don't know, Legend, have you heard people say that before when I'm out there riding?
I've heard him say it to you, yeah.
Yeah, and that's because it's just a little rough on the edges. We're going some old school technology where you were trying to pack all the money into making this thing run and get some range. And so now they've come in and they've put in some of those things that I really like about the new products, the light bar. What's the light bar? Tell us, boys.
It's pretty much what it is it gives you your battery percentage. It's very easy to understand. And it lets you know when you're activated on the sensor or when you're not.
Okay, it gives you a lot of information. I'm looking for the owner's manual here. Right here, we got an owner's manual of the XR, everybody. The OG XR, because you're like, what? If you're brand new to this bike and you're like, okay, what am I getting different? At the end of the day, you're getting something far superior, okay, from the XR old days, but you are now getting a XR that is beloved by so many with the right vibes, okay, that has advanced technology put into it. You're getting some more power, you're getting some more range. At the end of the day, you're not going to be disappointed at all. Just gotta say that right from the get-go. First impressions, Epic, as you've scoped the internet, you've read things, watched videos, first impressions on this board.
It's rad. It's insanely cool. I didn't think they were going to bring back the XR, but it's cool that they made the rally rails go on the new XR Classic, so I can't wait to ride it.
Okay, I think that's fair. He's already getting to you have rail options all of a sudden. This is one of the first few boards that drops with a rally rail edition. That's for those that want to, you're a seasoned vet. You like that, the shape of non-straight rails. Bam, there you go. You got an option. It's an extra $300 add-on. Legend, your first impressions when you saw the board, seen the videos, what is it for you? What's it doing for you? Check any boxes for you?
Well, I would open to try it. I'm a big GT guy, so I would stick with the GTS, hands down. My first thought when I saw it, I was like, so for everybody that vests their XRs, I was like, here's another way to level the playing field. You got it. You have Onewheel Future Motion back instead of an old XR being best.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation, I think. Will you be able to put some guts in here? Some people talk about that. We're Future Motion here. We don't have, this is straight outside of some grip tape that we put on here and an Enduro tire, which is from the Float Life. None of the guts on the inside have been modified to be anything other than Future Motion. I do think some of the cool features of the Classic. Let's get to it. Those that are in the chat, thanks for joining us today. Our thumbnail might have suggested that we had hands-on with it. Oh, we do not have that kind of privilege. However, I do think, as my wife was on our podcast yesterday, your mom, saying, she doesn't have a board. she has surrendered it to one of the grums in the house. Her GT is because our daughter was riding this, and this compared to other races, when you're racing other people on GTs, this is not going to stand up. So maybe we should, as Mom's birthday is only a couple weeks away, we should be getting her the XR Classic. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in.
It might be a little less stable.
You think? Oh,
GT.
on the contrary, my friend. I think we will answer that. They answer that. You didn't read the fine print about all the great new things. Let's run through some of the specs, some of the other thoughts as we just comb the website with pictures and information we learned from the launch video, folks. Here we go. We're going through. Here it is. It is got a top speed of 20 miles an hour. Performance treaded tire, which is brand new. A low boy foot pads and a mag handle pro. You can also get the wooden foot pad option. However, I don't know where those options are, okay? I can't see that on the website. I didn't spend a great deal of time, but maybe somebody in the chat today can help us find out where we can add on the wooden foot pads, because there's some about that. The OG feel of wooden foot pads. Like, these are OG foot. It's wooden. There's just something about it. I don't know. It's got the right vibes to me because that's the OG, the original. I like that they even dropping it in blue because that was the only option. Until you got these rail guard protectors, you had to have blue. You had all kinds of options as long as it was blue. Blue's back, baby. Blue is the new awesomeness. So the OG's coming back with some modified things to it, okay? 20 miles an hour range is a bump in miles an hour. It's a bump of 2. Okay, I think that is. I think the original was 18 miles an hour was the top speed. And so now you've got a little bit more miles, which is wonderful. I think XRs are a great board in trails, out of trails. They're just a good overall cruising board. The foot pads, this is like, yeah, you can get a backflip. We won't spend much time on the OG XR. It's just really good. It's always good to have one of them.
It was back then.
It was back then, but there's something about jumping in an old school Corvette and you're like, this is the day. Or as Peter McKinnon has made like old Fords, Broncos and stuff, the vibe. There's a vibe with classic. There's no reason to get rid of this guy. We're holding on to it because there's something about that vintage. You just got to keep running and things of that nature. One of the things I got to point out, it does look like the charger port is different. It's not the headphone jack. The charging port on the XR currently, you can't see. Maybe we'll go to the wide shot. The XR port up here is actually the 3 prongs of a microphone cable that you would click in there like we would be clicking into here. That's how that was the advanced technology. Now we have a much better sophistication of our charging. The other cool thing about when you look at the rail on the Classic now, the XR Classic, it is far down. It's way down. It's not on the center of the rail. That's what I'm trying to get to. The center of the rail is typically where the charging port is. If we can get a shot up there, maybe we go to the first picture, and maybe it's the side with the charging port on it. I'm not sure. Let's put that back up on the screen, picture number 1 or 2, so that we can look at that really quick. Historic. Are you going to do that for me? There you go. Okay. See how the port is back by the tire. It's not centered. That black little dot, that's your charging port. It's way down there, which is very interesting. I think that's very, very cool. I think as we go through the progressions of the pictures, we'll see why they have done that. Continuing on, they're calling this our best all-around board. Until I step on it, I cannot confirm nor deny that. I do like the XR. I think if you're trying to not be a pro in mobbing trails and you're wanting more stability and foot pad area, this is it. I think for the average consumer, this is it. Okay, let's move on to some of those pictures. I can't read far away because of the computer screens over there. Anyways, full size, not bulky. Okay, what you're seeing here is the dotted line in the picture. That's compared to a pint. Okay, so it's just showing you how much more real estate you have, but it's not astronomically too much. It just seems like what they keep boasting as is the Goldilocks of all the boards, where they're using the GTS as the extreme, the pint being the little, the XR Classic is the Goldilocks of the boards, which I gotta kind of agree with that. Not having written on it, but when it comes down to size, it could be perfect. It could be the perfect one that you're gonna throw in the back of your car, and it's gonna get you down the road pretty far. You got the speed, you got the range, and you have comfortability, which is pretty cool. Yes, you can get the wooden foot pads for the new customer, the new rider. You might go, do I really want the wooden? I think that's a little tip of the hat, if you will, to us OG riders that like the wooden foot pads. If you've not rode them, you don't know. It's worth it. It's a vibe, probably more than anything, to have that wooden look. I don't know. What do you think, Ledge?
They need it for the GT.
You would take wooden foot. Oh,
pads.
yeah. See.
I mean, give me that low boys.
Okay, now you say low boys. That's what comes in as an option as well as low boy foot pads. Here's a little write-up that they wrote up on the website that you can see yourself. Go to onewheel.com to purchase this, obviously. But here you go. The new Onewheel XR Classic is the board you have been waiting for. Goldilocks proportions. Creates a low, stable platform, making it easier to ride without being bulky, while the state-of-the-art performance will keep even the most advanced riders coming back for more. There you go. That's Ledge. I do think that the performance is in there. I also think stability is one of their concerns. That said, I believe one of the next images is they've lowered it down from a GT. So if you've got the GT, which we do need to mention that some of those are what size the hub. The hub is 6-inch performance treaded. So you get that treaded tire, which we are fans of around here. It is a great tire made straight for performance, and it comes with the 6-inch rim size. Now I wonder, what do you think? Are they taking the GTS motor in the magnets? Epic, do you think that that's what they're putting in there?
I don't think so.
You think this is
an entirely different?
You do?
Yeah.
Ooh. Are you just taking a shot in the dark?
Yeah, shot in the dark right
Yeah,
there.
that's not an educated opinion, everyone.
Not educated at all.
That's a 15-year-old just never had asked that question before and answering it straight from, I gotta have an answer. But I'm suggesting, and now I guarantee you there'll be other people on YouTube that will take, and maybe somebody's jumping in the chat today that'll kind of break it down for us to see what we get to have in underneath the hood. Float Life's pretty good at tearing these things apart and starting to say, hey, these are the magnets in there. I think if you're going to get some of those performance pieces out of there, I would think this is the GT hub, magnets, all of it.
I think it could be the magnets, but we might honestly have to test it out and see if a GT hub would fit
Well,
to plug it in. I mean,
no. I know what you're picturing when you say that. You're picturing all the old fittings that are inside this thing, the screws and all those things. That's all reimagined. Okay?
Yeah.
So the fittings and the harness plug that you speak of is going to have the different adapter on it. It's going to be modified to what makes sense that they would have in bins in their factory. So I would think they're taking a 6-inch GTS hub and smacking it on there to give us that power. My opinion. We'll find out soon enough. But stoked on that, if that's the case. It is a 6-inch hub that gives you a little bit more of that bounce, a little bit more rubber than the 6.5. The reason you might want to be on a 6.5, at least here in the tundra of Minnesota, is this time of year. As you go into snow, that wideness helps you bite the snow. That's a very small section of the world that rides during. So a 6-inch is really nice. 5 inches really nice. There's options out there. But here we go. Moving on in just a breakdown of this. Excited about a classic. Here you go. Low and sleek is what they're giving you here. It's 0.25 lower than the GT compared to the GT. If you look just slightly to the left at the hub and then the hub bolts in the middle of the wheel, see how that's off-centered, boys?
Yeah,
Yes, I
it's
do see
lower.
that.
You can,
Right. It's either couple things. I think it's thinner. I don't think it's lower. I think the rail is thinner, so they've sliced off a layer of the rail on top of it, which makes it appear lower. But see there, now you have the GT rail behind it. Can you see that in that picture? You just see the GT just below that. I think they've shaved off a little bit, but I don't know. I think that's what I understand in it. That would be where I'm headed on that. I don't know if necessarily they're going to make it lower, but maybe it is lower and I'm way off on it. But there is definitely some changing in there. Your GT, a lot of people, one of those concerns about a GT GTS is how high you are on it. Your center of gravity is more difficult. This is lower, which will help those that are transitioning into the sport, those that are wanting to jump in the sport, get a little more aggressive. This is a great board for that. It's a great board to be able to hit the road and then hit the trails with it. And so I'm stoked on even that. I think the ride's going to have that vibe of this gem, this vintage ride. I want to say classic, but we have the XR Classic now. I don't know what you call this. The OG?
XR Vintage.
The XR Vintage, the OG XR. I don't know.
The old one.
The old one.
The oldie.
I mean, this
Oldie
has
but
got
goodie.
thousands of miles on it. It has traveled the entire United States from ocean to ocean. It's held up. It's not had to be repaired. Battery's great. It's everybody, I think, of the OG community in the float life would be able to speak, loves this board. Just they do. It's a gem, and to see it back revived for those that are brand new to the community and stuff, and you go to group rides and you see this board out there, you're like, wow, that looks old. Oh, not anymore. It's like how decades ago, boys, they brought back the Mustang and they hadn't made it for years, decades, and all of a sudden, boom, here it is. Same idea, same muscle car, but just with modern technology in it. So you do get what's sweet about this, and I think you already said it, Epic, or maybe you did, Legend. You do get really good custom shaping this round.
Yeah, I said that off camera.
Yeah, custom shaping, which is wonderful. Because the custom shaping you got on, and you hear me chuckle on the XR that's sitting here on our table today, it wasn't very much, okay? If anything, like you had to really pay attention if you're going to feel some massive changes to it. You can't tweak very much. This is going to be way more sophisticated, user friendly. Probably going to be much like the the GTs and GTSs, which is really exciting that you can tweak your ride and not just I want to ride in tilt or elevated mode, or just choosing your modes. This is, you're going to be able to tweak a lot of things, more than probably those that are going to purchase this want to do that. You do have options. We already spoke to this about the rails. You can do the flat straight rails, or you can do the rally rails, the recurve rails. Those would probably be for those that know you're just primarily going to be in trails, so you would do the rally rail. Maybe you just want that, you like that style, then the rally rails is an option. It's an extra $300 for that. I was thinking about this today.
I was too.
I was thinking about the recurve rails and rally rails and all those things. I think they're wonderful, and I think there's an advantage to it. I also think the straight rails are wonderful, and you can choose your preference. I like to try them all, but I always come back to the straight rails. I try them all. I mean, almost all the rest of it. I've tried them all. We've done reviews on them. I always come back to the OG straight rails. I don't know why it is. It's just me. That's a me thing. You are going to, I know like Austin Silva loves the rally rails, the recurve rails. So everybody, you got to figure out your Goldilocks on the rails. And so save yourself some bucks, though, if you're like, I want the recurve rails, but I'll do it later. Unless things change, you would have to then send it back in and have them redo your board, put those rails on, and it'll be an extra $400. So you need to make that decision when purchasing. And speaking of purchasing, they have them in stock as we speak. You can order these right now, be shipped to your house ASAP. I mean, shoot, some people live close enough. By tomorrow morning, you could be having the XR Classic delivered to your home. Not a bad day.
No, not at all.
We would like to applaud Onewheel. Great job on a great launch today.
Congratulations.
Way to bring back a classic, seriously, and just keep it. I mean, the looks of those, yeah, I like all of it. I like that you've updated it to some of those pieces of technology we have grown accustomed to on our current boards, and thank you for doing that. You do have bundles. You have 3 options currently. You have, and they're running for 48 hours, okay? And so they're your 3 bundles. You have the hybrid bundle where you get the hybrid fender, which is pretty cool. It's fender delete and then the fender. You have the essential bundles and you have the elite bundle, okay? Those are you gotta make the decision what makes the most sense to you. You're gonna, I think, some of the things in the bundling package side of things, when you go to get the extra bumpers, now you have 2 sets of bumpers. Just put in your mind. One of our friends bought it and was like, why do I have 2, I have a regular set and a black set, or I have the black set that comes with it, and now I have this. What? It's because they clicked the bundle and you're getting more of those, which is great. I think it takes, if it's your average rider, you just ride on pavement, probably a year's time, you're going to have to switch out your bumpers anyways because of the plastic being grinded off and eventually getting to the bolt head. So overall impressions, a legend of the release as we broke it down, talked about it. What are your overall impressions?
I think it's going to be a really good commute board. I haven't seen, there's not enough out. Actually, there's like nothing out, no footage out to really determine if it's a good trail board or not. I think it's going to be nice that it's lowered, but I did have a question with the recurve rails losing some of the nose clearance. Does that counteract what you lose what's lowered on the straight rails?
Yeah, that's a fair question. Again, don't know until you ride it, right? So Epic, your thoughts? We've dropped the glasses.
Yeah, I was getting hard to see.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do it, but you do it great. My first impressions on the board is super excited to try it, and for the new custom shaping, that would be awesome on the XR, and recurved rails. That's just insane that they can just do that all in this small, tiny little board.
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked on it. Out of, if I'm going to purchase a board right now that we don't have in our quiver here between the Pint S and the Classic XR, I'm going to XR Classic because of just the idea. I had a Pint X running around here and we could update the software in there and we have every feature that the Pint S has except for those sweet, amazing looking black coated rails. I like that on the Pine S's.
Well, and the tire. I want to try that.
Yeah, the tire. But I can go and purchase those things. Here, I don't get these rails. I don't get that vibe, that sensation that I love. Like I rode this today. I was like, oh man, it's really good to be riding this. Now, what you miss on this OG one is, I go hit a hill and now all of a sudden I'm in grandpa mode and it's kind of not fun. But on the street, flat surfaces, this thing is awesome. It's like you're surfing, and it's wonderful. But like I said, there's not power packed into this thing that helps me get up hills and things of that nature. It's just lacking some of those things. However, the XR Classic dropping today, I think, is going to check all those boxes to make that where that's the new OG vibes that you want to have. And I think the pictures they got shot with them, all the OG Classic cars, the vintage overlays on their pictures are great. Can we put up like one of the first pictures there? Just look at this. The vibes they did in the marketing department and things like that. And look, you got the old school grainy, filmy look in the picture, and there's so many more on their website and stuff that just make it enjoyable to just go. You feel like you're jumping into the 70s, if you will. Like, look at that. Boys, you know what kind of car that is right there?
I
No.
want to say it's an El Camino.
Oh, it's an El Camino. That's right.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I can't read it, but...
Oh, you don't need to read it. It's an El Camino. Well done, man. Wow. Sure. Whoever's teaching you in school is a great job. They're doing a wonderful job. We applaud your teacher right now. That's
Props.
their mom. Props to their mom. Yep, you're doing. One of 4 in the studio today knows what the El Camino is, and that's the right vibes. I think when you're doing a picture, that's a great vibe. Go check that out. They also have a launch video you can go see on YouTube, and it's all live right now. Go buy your board. Get it done. I mean, you could do it as stocking stuffers. It'll be interesting to see as it dropped. What? How many weeks are we away from Black Friday? Do you know, Epic?
4.
It's
4
gonna
weeks?
say-
You think it's 4
I'm going
weeks?
to say 3. Is it before Thanksgiving or after?
After. It's the
So,
Friday
4.
after.
4.
4.
We got
I
3
said it
weeks
first.
till Thanksgiving?
3 weeks to Thanksgiving, so it's 3 weeks till.
Sure. Yeah.
No, we need precision here.
4.
Your
Final
role
answer.
is I can't look that up.
4.
I got to keep the conversation. No, your job is you're saying 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Somebody's
4
already told
weeks.
us in the
I'm
chat. I
saying 3 and a
guarantee
half.
you. 3.5 weeks. I don't know that. It's the end of the month. Oh my goodness, you're asking Siri.
Yeah.
That's just where we're at.
That's where we're at. You no longer just even type stuff.
We're
you
just
just
like
talk.
She didn't
Yeah, we're just
help.
like that.
Oh,
she
my
was-
goodness.
she
How about you
thought I
just
asked
go to
for
your
healthcare.
calendar
I don't
and you
have
find
that.
it out?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay,
We're
this
gonna be
is
talking
just
about the extra classic.
dad moment here in the studio today. Hey, if you're brand new here, you're just checking this out, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We drop content on the weekly. We have a podcast where we chat about these things. We'll have Bodie Harrison, who is one of the creators at Onewheel, one of the riders at Onewheel, on here next week to talk, interview, catch up with him. So we're excited about seeing his thoughts on, because he's an OG boy, an OG rider of the XR. We know that he loves the XR, so it'll be interesting to hear his thoughts on this board dropping and all those things, which is going to happen next Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. Central Time. So subscribe, turn on the bell notification, because if you didn't have it on, you missed this one. And we're just hopping on an impromptu lunchtime video to talk about something that dropped today. Our opinions are we're stoked on it. Now everybody's going to know, you're fanboys, you don't see. What's one drawback to this? The drawback is...
We have to buy it.
Yeah, no. I do think it would have been awesome and a sweet nod to the OG XR is if they would have dropped it for the same price. For just a weekend.
Yeah.
Because I figure, prices, but for just a weekend, I think the price was like $17.99, the OG XR. Drop it for that.
Yeah.
Because right now it's 19.
Yeah, it's 19.
I mean, by $1 short, it's $2,000, okay? But just to see it up there for the OG people, we'd be like, sweet, I see the nod to that. And then obviously, the real opinions will come when you start riding the thing.
Yeah.
The original XRs came with a Vega tire. Gone are those days. Even the
days.
You're
tires.
gonna need to put a Vega back on.
Oh,
Yeah,
drop a
you
Vega
go
on it.
OG,
Oh, yeah.
Real OG, and then compare it.
Oh,
to
that could be pretty slick,
You
actually.
gotta.
However, I don't want to install one of those. Those
I'll do
things
it.
are brutal.
I'll do it.
I
Oh,
won't do
Here's
it.
what will happen. You'll start, and they're so hard to get on.
And yeah.
I'm going to get sucked in.
And you'd be like, Dad, I need
It is so, the compound on those Vega tires are wildly stiff and thick and hard. Maybe we'll do it because it would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
no, I think
You think we should
have
do it?
to. Yeah.
We have to do it. He
We
says.
have to do it.
It's
Okay.
a must do.
Okay. Put your comments over on the side. People would love to hear your thoughts, what you're thinking about the XR Classic. I can't wait to see videos dropping over the next few weeks. Maybe we get one, and we'll do our videos on it as well. We'll get it riding in the trails. We'll give our thoughts on this great OG coming back. XR Classic, everybody. Thanks for joining with us here on a Thursday, not a Wednesday. My name is Scott Mendenhall, and it's been a pleasure to be with you and legend and epic, icon and historic are on all the technology brought to you from Minnesota, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Get out there and ride today. Bye.
Bye, everybody.